Are you the kind of person who kills a plant immediately once you buy it? Maybe you're not cut out for entrepreneurship. Hi, my name is Amy, and this year I made over $100,000 in revenue in my online shop. I'm not one of those gurus who have, documented 7 figures, 8 figures in revenue. I think I'm a little bit more realistic in terms of my advice, a very practical advice that I wish someone would have told me before I started my business. I really want to start to help people who are starting their business journey, because I've had quite a few people come to me like, Amy, can you give me some advice about this, or I've got this business idea, etc. So in 2025 I'll start to document my business journey and also give advice as I learn it, and also the advice that I already have, so that I can hopefully start to help some more aspiring entrepreneurs. So definitely subscribe if you're interested in that. So you are a beginner, you are looking for your maybe business idea, or maybe you've got one. So here's the thing, I've got experience in a product-based business. So that means I'm selling a physical product such as this one. But before we start, I need to tell you that product-based businesses is one of the hardest you can do. You can do freelancing businesses, digital product-based businesses, which is an online file like a PDF. You can literally be a YouTuber, and it's easier than starting a product-based business. I, for some reason, jumped straight into a product-based business because I didn't know any better, and at the time I just wanted to make some good makeup that I liked, because I didn't find any brands that I liked, but that's besides the point. I was just like, cool, I want to do this, and I started during COVID. If I knew my knowledge now, I wouldn't necessarily do this, and I definitely would have changed my approach going into it. If you are dead set on doing a product-based business, this YouTube channel will hopefully help you start as well. So my second thing I want to tell you is that you should start with one product. I think you need to really make sure that the product you are making has a place in the market. If I started my business, I wouldn't have necessarily started a makeup line like I have. It's just so competitive, and each product, there's already lipsticks in the market, there's already eyeshadows in the market, so I'm really giving myself a harder time here. Whereas if I started, I would have started with like one solid product if I was to start again. Something that really solves a problem, something that can go viral. A really high quality product is super important. The point is, you need to ideally start with one really good product, or maybe like a mini curation, like 1 or 3 products. Give yourself an opportunity to really scale, because with one really solid product, like for example the people who started Alia Skin, those guys started with one pink clay mask, and that thing, they had so much quantity of it, they were able to ship it out to influencers because they've got so much volume. It's like their one thing, and then they slowly expanded to have a bunch of new SKUs. Obviously, if you're going to do something like you want to do a range of t-shirts, or you want to do some collection, that's up to you, but my advice would be just like think of one thing that you can do, and you can like really slay that, because the opportunity to grow from there is always there. You will be able to launch new products after the fact, but with a limited budget for a beginner, one thing, that's all you need. Okay, so the third tip that I want to give you is you have to think about how you're actually going to get your customer to your product, because you can have the best product in the world, right? But if you don't have anyone looking at it, no one's going to know about it, no one's going to buy it. This comes to the practical step of how you are going to actually sell your product. So you can do it on a marketplace, which is something like Etsy, where there's already existing audience. Technically, you can do something like Amazon, where there's people on that marketplace, right? And that marketplace charges you a fee, an admin fee, storage fee, whatever. But there's already people looking for that product, so you're going to be able to access an audience like that way. If you don't have an audience, like you don't have followers on TikTok or Instagram, and you don't have anyone, you're starting from ground zero, how is anyone going to know about your brand, right? So I would say marketplaces are an easier starting point, but I would personally recommend, if you're really in this for the long haul, get a domain. Use something like Shopify, which is what I use. Shopify is quite accessible. You can have your custom domain name. It's a very easy way to get checkout and set it all up, compared to having the budget to get a developer to make you a custom online store. Shopify is way easier, but it's a little bit of a step up in terms of effort than setting up a marketplace. But it's a bit more professional, and I feel like it's going to be a bit more your own, and you can really scale that up without having to worry about always being on Etsy's platform, because what if something happens to that? You have a bit more control on Shopify, in my opinion. But the issue with that is once you have your .com domain, no one's going to find it. You need to really get your marketing strategy in your brain. You can have the world's crappiest random gimmicky product ever, and you can sell and make millions and millions of dollars if people know about you and you've got an amazing marketing strategy. I see it all the time. There's so many random brands selling pseudo things, random things, crappy things I would never buy, but their marketing strategy is on point, and that's where you want to be, but with an ethical business model with good products. This is just general advice, but this is really important for you to understand before you start, and before I start diving into details onto how you can action these things, because as a beginner I had no idea what any of this meant. Like, I really had no idea. I was overwhelmed with where to begin, what to do. There's a million things you need to divide and your attention in and upskill in. It's complicated. So this is just like the groundwork, okay? So my fourth point is that you need to be prepared to constantly upskill yourself. You need to invest in yourself. You need to increase your skill sets, learn, and do a bunch of tasks that are normally 9-to-5 jobs for everyone else. So you need to be doing all of that. You need to be the PR manager, the social media manager, the content creator. You need to be the web developer, the graphic designer. You need to be the product developer. You need to be in charge of shipping and logistics. You need to be packing. You need to be in contact with your supplier. You need to be doing everything. That is, unless you have a business partner, you have heaps of capital, you can start hiring staff right away. But this is bootstrapping. That's what I did. It's not that fun. Like, you want to maybe just go shopping, maybe you want to do something else, you want to buy something else, you want to buy a thing, maybe you want to go out to eat. But instead you have to go to buy a book, you have to spend time reading, you have to say no to that hangout, you have to actually commit your time and energy into making your dreams come true, because there's no easy way. There's just no easy way unless you're born into money, okay? It's not easy, but there is no other way to make your dreams come true, because now I can say I work for myself. It's amazing. I have freedom, I can do whatever I want, most in terms of timing, blah blah blah. I don't have anyone harassing me, I don't have to deal with annoying co-workers, whatever. I've got full control, but that's also a lot of responsibility, and continuously throughout my journey it's very hard. It's just an endless struggle, which is, in life, I think you just gotta pick your struggle. Are you going to pick your struggle where you never pursue your dreams and work for someone else and you don't really want to do that, it's not your passion? Is that going to be a struggle? Or is your struggle going to be the other way around, which is working for yourself, you know, investing all your money, being in a lot of insecurity for a long time? Is there a light at the end of the tunnel? That's a different type of struggle. So you kind of got to pick your struggle there, and that's been my mindset. And I have to remind myself, I would rather struggle every single day on my business than work for someone else in that struggle, because that really pisses me off and I can't do it. I've been fired multiple times, I've quit multiple times from a random job. I can't do it. So my struggle is obviously going to be entrepreneurship. Right, so the next thing I want to talk about is your online presence. So your website is extremely important, and if you've got no artistic skills, you need to find someone that does. You need to have someone that is good at web design, graphic design, and can build you a trustworthy looking site, because you can have a lot of traffic. Say for example, you've got a really good product, maybe something that cures cancer. It could be like crazy, that's just a crazy example, but you can have a really good product and you can have really good marketing, so you've got heaps of people going to your website. But if your website is a piece of shit, sorry, but then no one's going to check out. It looks untrustworthy, maybe the buttons don't function that well, people get annoyed just trying to add something to cart and then things glitch. Whatever crazy stuff happens, the photos don't look that good, it's like, oh, I don't know, you took a bad photo, it looks worse than the actual product. You're not going to get conversions, which is the percentage of people who check out after visiting your website. Either figure it out yourself and do it well, or get someone. You have to invest money into someone who can make you a beautiful website. Shopify is actually quite easy to make a good website, but to be honest, when I started my business, my website looked really dodgy, and it still did for quite a while. So I don't think that helped me at all. If I just started with a good website that looked professional, trustworthy, aspirational, beautiful, I could have started and made money way earlier in my journey rather than later, when I finally got my skills in order and made a beautiful website. And I feel like my website's pretty decent now. Still working on it, but it's got a good conversion rate, blah blah blah, it looks nice. Obviously this isn't going to matter if you're going to choose the marketplace route, but I recommend you do the slightly harder way, which is the domain custom website. It looks more professional. So that's more like long term though. If you just want to dip your feet in, you can do a marketplace and you can still be very successful, extremely successful on a marketplace. It just depends on your goals, so have a think about that. Okay, so the next thing, I forgot what point I'm at now, is just don't do dropshipping. I have done a lot of research into dropshipping. People think it's easy. And it's not, to be honest. It just means you don't have to fulfill and pack orders yourself, but that comes with a lot of cons. You can have zero control of the shipping times. You're gonna get pissed off customers. You basically can't control the product quality. It goes straight to the customer. No professional branding. It's just not good. Look, you can make money with it, but the way in the future is branding, branded products. And it's just very hard to do that with a manufacturer straight to consumer business model. That's why I'm not gonna get straight into this too much, because I might make a whole video on dropshipping, but just if that's been something on your mind, maybe reconsider. You need to have a brand, you need to buy bulk product and control the logistics of that. Otherwise, it's just never gonna be long term. You might make heaps of money with a dropshipping store and then immediately it gets copied. The product becomes saturated all over the internet. Everyone's doing that same product. There's no branding, there's no differentiation. So the last couple things I would say is, one, don't quit your day job. While you're building a business, you're just going to have to work after working. You need money, so unless you're good at sourcing capital, getting a loan from a bank, blah, 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 there's a lot of different ways you can source capital, but don't quit your day job until you really feel like, okay, I'm at this point where I can pay myself now, I can live off my business. There is hope in the future for consistent growth, etc. Everyone's circumstances are different, everyone's got different responsibilities, and you just need to make sure that you are not sacrificing your life to do this. It's not easy, and you need to have a backup plan. And that backup plan is a job that's consistent for you. You need to be prepared, and that leads into the next statement, which is being prepared to make a lot of mistakes and not giving up. Because I started in COVID, and during that time there were a lot of small businesses that started at the same time as me, and many of them, I've watched them basically all close. I have managed to continue. I don't know how, trust me, I have almost quit many times. My business almost closed down many times. You will make costly mistakes. You will make mistakes that will hopefully become learning lessons. If you learn from it, then you won't make it again. You will just keep improving your knowledge, blah, blah, blah. But this requires a really strong mental strength. Trust me, I've made so many crazy mistakes, I've wasted so much money, but you just have to continue. And having that belief in yourself, okay, you've got a good product, you've got a good plan, you have a good strategy, marketing strategy in mind, mental strength and willpower, it will take you places. Because I find that as long as you've got like a decent seed, right, it will grow, and it's exponential growth too. The scale is crazy because that's just how it works, right? The more big you get, the more you can buy in bulk, the more your cost per unit goes down, the more you can invest in marketing, and then the more reputation you get, the more people want to work with you, who then share your brand with more people. It's just like exponential like that. Consistency is everything. You need to be consistent, but don't be consistent on a shitty thing that's never going to take off. And that's going to be maybe a different video where I talk about how you can actually tell if your brand, your idea or something has a chance to survive, because there is consistency in something that is growing, but if there's no signs of life after like a while, I suppose the assessment period will be different for everyone. But if there's no signs of growth, then you might just be pushing too hard and you have to let that go. I have almost deviated from my current business to a different business model many different times during my brand's growth, but the reason why I've stuck with it is because I genuinely believe there is a place for her in the market, and it is growing like heaps, percentage wise, 200% or more per year. It's like, okay, I can't give up on you, you're obviously doing something. But if my brand was to remain stagnant or continue dropping in terms of yearly revenue or whatever, then it's like, okay, cool, I'm either doing something completely wrong and I have to switch strategy, or I just need to try a different product, different business model. So yeah, it's kind of like, don't beat a dead horse, right? But you also need to have the balance. You need to figure out like, am I beating a dead horse here, or am I nurturing a seed? A plant doesn't grow from seed to tree in one day. So it's just constantly watering that seed. Are you going to be doing that? Do you have the patience for that? Hopefully this has been helpful to you. These are more philosophical questions, and I think just some general advice for a very beginner in business. In the future, I will talk more in detail about specific things that you can do to grow your business, specific strategies that work for me, more things like that. But I think before you start a business, like, you just need to think about these all-encompassing ideas. read a bunch of books, start to upskill your brain to prepare yourself for a business. This has been a crazy experience for me, and I really have been through a lot with my brand, so much, and I don't share it with anyone. And now in 2025 I really want to share this with you guys, you who is an aspiring entrepreneur. There's a lot of people who want to do business, and it's very possible. I know it sounds a little bit daunting, especially with my disclaimers and oh, you should be careful of this in this video, but it is truly one of the most rewarding things I've ever done in my life. I feel a lot of great hope for the future. I'm proud of myself for what I've done and accomplished, and I think it's just so rewarding. It makes me so happy, it makes my family happy. I've celebrated so many wins that I've accomplished with my own hands and my own skills. I think it's good just to constantly be able to invest in yourself, in your own knowledge, and then watch that manifest in your dream. So I do highly recommend you stick out your dreams, pursue it. There's so many resources online, and hopefully I can be one of them to help you on your journey. So subscribe for more videos. I will try to be consistent with my videos and help more people, especially young women. You guys have the potential and power to be your own boss. Not to be a hashtag girl boss or anything, but it's pretty awesome. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please let me know if you've got any questions or any specific video ideas or topics that you want me to tackle in the future. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.